Hey guys, before we start today's video, I just need to do a quick shout out to a fellow YouTuber, Kevin from Sexton Creations. So for those of you who aren't aware, Kevin is currently working with Smith Lord Creations, sculpting a reproduction of the unreleased Kenner Bantha from the Star Wars line. This project's coming along fantastic. I think he's got about 4 production update videos on his channel. I highly recommend you check it out. I will leave a link in the description below. As most of you should know by now, my favourite vintage toy line is Palitoy's Action Man, and I have been seriously collecting this range since 1994. That's an incredible 25 years devoted to one particular toy line, and as you can imagine, I haven't collected for all that time without picking up some rare and unusual Action Man items. So today, Analog Toys is going to talk you through these pieces, the rare, the unusual, and the downright awesome. Hello toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. Now, collecting vintage Action Man is a thoroughly rewarding hobby, but if you want to acquire every single piece out there, you certainly have a challenge ahead of you, because there are some extremely rare and hard to find pieces as well as some very unusual ones. The first piece in my collection that I want to discuss is my vintage Action Man Space Explorer that was released sometime around 1971. I have already covered this beautiful Action Man set in another in-depth video review, which also featured Hasbro's G.I. Joe counterpart, the Flying Space Adventure set. This is one of the most difficult to find Action Man pieces from the entire run, but is also one of the best looking sets to ever be released by Palitoy. Featuring many extremely difficult to find accessories, the Action Man Space Explorer comes with a white jumpsuit and yellow boots, a space chair and rocket pack, the pickup arm, the X-ray camera, and the clear domed space helmet. I am aware that the small chest badge on the jumpsuit of my example is a reproduction, and I also believe for many years that the rest of the outfit was original, but unfortunately for me, I was wrong. After I uploaded my video review of this toy in 2018, the YouTuber Joe account informed me that the space helmet was actually a reproduction. A bit disappointing from my end, but this still ranks as a very rare piece and one that I am very proud to display in my collection. The next piece I'd like to show you is my limited edition print of the Action Man SAS Airstrike helicopter artwork. Freelance graphic artist Dave Barnacle, who designed many of the original Action Man packaging pieces, illustrated the original artwork for the Action Man SAS Airstrike helicopter. And when I was filming my Story of Action Man documentary feature film back in 2011, Dave was kind enough to gift me one of these limited edition prints. I believe Dave produced around 500 copies of this print. However, when he started selling them on eBay, Hasbro got a bit upset with him and stopped him from selling the majority of these prints. That alone would make this a very rare piece, but unlike the rest of the prints produced, Dave Barnacle has actually signed my copy, making it one of the most prized pieces in my entire collection. I am a huge fan of the SAS Airstrike helicopter, and in particular I love the original box, and it's just fantastic to also be able to own an unadorned copy of the original art. Next up, we have the very rare Zorro figure that was only produced for the French Action Man market. In France, the Action Man line was sold under the title of Group Action Joe, and one of the rarest pieces ever released in that line is this quite unique take on the famous character of Zorro. This set was available either as a carded outfit or as a dress box figure, and there are also 2 variations of this outfit, one which comes with an all-black cape like mine, which I believe is from the box figure version, and another one which comes with a maroon inner lining on the cape that I understand to be from the carded version of this set. My Zorro figure is missing the whip and face mask, so I've had to make a custom mask, and I am still looking for that elusive bullwhip. Despite a couple of missing pieces, this is still an extremely rare set and one that I am very proud to display in my collection. I'm going to break the rules a little bit on this next one and include an Action Force piece. This is my Action Force membership club pack from 1987. This promotional item from Hasbro consists of several elements that are included in a dark green vinyl wallet, and I believe the pack could only be obtained back in 1987 through a mail-away offer included with the Action Force weekly comic. Inside the pack there is a special pass which serves as a service record of sorts. The Operation Shutdown game, which consists of a briefing cassette, a choose your own adventure book, and an adventure game map. And 4 sample file cards featuring the bios of Snake Eyes, Bazooka, Alpine and Airtight. One of the best things about this set is that if you were lucky enough to receive one when you were a child, the pack also came with a unique code name for each club member. And although this is not my original membership club pack, I still remember the code name I received in 1987, and that name was Dusk Fox. In fact, Michael Mercy has been kind enough to create my own personalised file card, which includes that original Dusk Fox code name. The next piece is probably the most valuable one in my entire collection, and that is my Mint Box Action Man Missile Assault set. One of the last Action Man sets ever developed by Palitoy, the Special Team Missile Assault outfit is incredibly rare and difficult to find loose, let alone boxed. Action Man's chief designer Bob Breakin developed this outfit, and this particular example actually came from Bob's personal collection, which I purchased from him a few years ago. In 1983, Palitoy released the first 3 Action Man Special Team sets, the Ground Assault, the Underwater Assault, and the Arctic Assault. And then in 1984, Action Man's final year, they added the Missile Assault to the range. One of the greatest aspects of this set is the very unique camouflage pattern used on the jumpsuit. I'm not quite sure what environment Action Man would use this in, but from a toy collector's perspective, the purple and grey pattern really makes this figure stand out on the display shelf. Finally, we get to the rarest and most unique piece in my entire Action Man collection, an exact replica of the original gripping hand sculpture. In the early 1970s, the Palitoy design team was dressing an Action Man display at the annual Brighton Toy Fair when Bill Pugh, Palitoy's Director of Design Research and Development, commented that it was difficult to get Action Man to hold his accessories properly due to his fixed hand grip. After the toy fair, he tasked Bob Breakin, Action Man's chief designer, with sculpting a gripping hand that would radically improve the action figure. Bob sculpted the hand by looking at and studying his own left hand. The original sculpture was made 4 times larger than the actual Action Man hand, and a pantographing tool was used to shrink the hand down to the Action Man scale. Bob Breakin still owns the original wax sculpture of the gripping hand, and a number of years ago he commissioned a mould made from the original and reproduced a very limited number of copies, and he was kind enough to give me one of those hands during the filming of my Action Man documentary. This is an incredibly unusual piece of Action Man memorabilia, and one that I will never let go. Even if I sold off the rest of my entire collection, which is very unlikely, but even if I did, I would never ever let go of this piece. Rare, unusual and gifted to me by a very special person, my copy of the original Action Man gripping hand sculpture is the holy grail centrepiece of my entire toy collection. So there you have it, Analog Toys' rarest and most unusual Action Man pieces. We really hope you found this video both interesting and educational, and if you'd like to support the channel further, head on over to our Patreon page where you can get exclusive access to behind the scenes information on all of our upcoming videos. I'm Tony from Analog Toys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.